Welcome on back, everybody. Wild Willy here with episode 3 of our Get OP in the DLC walkthrough. We are at the Elk River Site of Grace. Let's go ahead and make it morning so you guys can see better. There are no night bosses in the DLC, by the way. This is just a YouTube thing. Make it easier for you guys to see the content, ideally. Last episode, we finished out by reaching the riverbed here and going north to grab the two-headed turtle shell shield for more stamina, and now we're heading out and heading south. We're gonna hop off over here. We are going south to pick up another map fragment and Scadutree fragment. Carefully hop on down. Some of those earlier falls you will die to gravity. Gonna run past the grave birds. I think there's like a somber 4 I can try and do a snatch and grab on. Yep. We're just gonna keep going. Not here for them. Hop on down here in the corner. And here's another site of grace. Let's keep on going. We are headed down for the Cerulean coast. I'm not going to explore. Leave that to you guys later on. There's one thing we would come back down here and grab. Another Scadutree fragment. I want to point out just above my crown over here to the left by the waterfall is another one of those bell bearings you could shoot down and grab down in the waterfall. And then over here, just lift to our left, running east southeast, there are a couple things I'm going to grab out. Show you the one. There's a forager brood guy over here. Interact with him. And then I'm gonna run through the pond here with a lightning perfume bottle. Be mindful, you are standing in water. These lightning bolts can hurt. There's another furnace golem. Just gonna ride past him. Straight up to the little gap there in the cliff. To the southwest. Already chucking fireballs at us, so we're going to keep going. We are site of grace just over the crest of the hill here. There it is, Cerulean coast. So we're again right above my head. We're heading up. That's a stone coffin. We'll head for the stone coffin fissure. People wonder what these are called. They're stone coffins. We're going to be heading up to the gap between there, the cliff and the stone coffin. The map fragment is right there, and then up the hill to the left where my head is now, can't really see it, is another cross inside of Grace. The little island right here where my antlers are is a dragon is going to swoop down there. So we're going to swing down over here to our left to proceed through this area. It's another famous Elden Ring trap. There are a couple little loose loots over there. You're like, ooh, shiny. And you go over there and then a dragon lands on your head. Always fun. dog. And more shadow dudes. I think I just landed the dragon. Anyway, let me get away from this dog. And grab the map fragment and go to the Grace. And that's really all we wanted to do in this zone here. Okay, now we're just heading south. And you can see the cross over to our left. We're going to head on up to the cross. There's our Scadutree fragment. Nectar Blood Virgins. Another message from Mikola and a Grace. I'm gonna rest. I got chipped up. I want to do a couple of things here. First of all, let me pull open the map. Show you where we're at, Southern Shore. It also unlocked another area, like where we went through the cliff and came out and got the Grace. There's an area above this that we can't access until we beat one of two, kind of minor bosses. There's a Dragon Lord. I forget what his official name is. He's in a catacomb right over here, a cave. We'll go visit him later. Not there. Down here-ish. Near Eon. We're gonna head down here. He invades us, and then we can go into the cave and fight him in the bottom, and that opens up this region. So we gotta beat him. And then the other boss we need is to get this little map fragment down here. This is the frenzy reason. You can't ride Torrent. There are things in here that'll one-shot you unless you can parry them. But you can go in here and you can run and grab the map fragment. There are two Scadutree fragments there. And then over here, like right below this area, or right in this area, there's another Grace, and then there's a tree with a Scadutree fragment that we can also get without having to fight any of this other bullshit down here. Midra's Manse is the legacy dungeon, and it's like right under here. We might be able to see that peeking out when we come through the dragon region, because we'll do that first. There is another Scadutree fragment that we can grab. Not going to do it right now. It's like roughly up in here. There's another stone coffin here. There are a bunch of demi-humans and a demi-human queen on the beach right over there. And if you work your way up in here, you fight an NPC here. Basically, you're fighting the like Yoda. You're fighting Yoda. And then you can work your way up and around, and there's a big one tucked in there, like guarding the Scadutree fragment. You can just snatch it and run. Demi-human Yoda there. So it's a bit of a run. There's some other stuff that we can do first, so I want to take care of that later. Next, we are going to go over here to the Morth Ruins. And the next thing we want to do is we're going to run through here. There's a Scadutree fragment. And then this is going to take us out and around. We're going to kind of go under this area and come out through this poison swamp. And then we're going to come out here. And this is going to be the Rao base. There's going to be a site of grace right around here that we can grab. And then we're going to run down here and grab the map fragment. And then there's the Rao ruins. And then there's another site of grace just beyond that. And there's a Scadutree fragment we can grab in the Rao ruins. So let's go back over here to the Morth ruins and get started. All right, so we want to head for number 1, so kind of a northeast heading. Glad to see my game performance has improved. There was a Shadow Knight over there on horseback. Quite know where he's going or guarding, but anyway. And these blue ones, they're not hostile to you. If you whack them, they will become hostile. The red tipped ones, those are always hostile. They'll go after you right to start with. And this is just ground loot running through here. You'll run past the Miranda flower. Got the Shadow Rune. Got the Sunflower. This is Heal from Afar. Nice new incantation we can use. And then you want to head for the green. Just drop on down. There's another Forager Brood that we can swing by on our way. So basically just head due north. And then when you see the cliff, don't fall off of it. You want to work our way along the edge of the cliff face. I know we say that a lot in Elden Ring. Hasn't changed in Shadow of the Tree either. Talk to him, get the other Forager Brood cookbook. Look at how many there are. Obviously, he just gave us number 5, so there are at least that many. And then we're going to proceed west towards our next mark. That should be a grace in the vicinity. It's just to get us going in the right direction. Just more Greybirds to run past. A couple little loots you can grab. I think that's another... Oh, that's a smithing stone. It's 5 smithing stone 3s. Very exciting. Alright, so there's our grace. Did a good job targeting that, because we're just going to head right in that direction after we touch it. Down the valley here, we're basically running the valley between the upper Rao area, which you can see up there. And then this is the Rao base. There are a couple of golems, and one of them is an archer golem. And you know the drill with them. They're going to, you know, try and railgun us as we run down the central part of the valley. I don't know if I can dip under here or not. I think I can, yep. I'm just staying off to the side to avoid him. You can see him, he's getting ready to start shooting. There's his first shot. And then there's the other one, halberd one. I'm just staying on along the right-hand side. Let the trees give us some cover. And then you do need to come over here and drop down, because if you keep running along the side there, you're going to gain elevation and won't be safe to drop. There's our marker, and then just off to the left of that is our obelisk with our map fragment. This is where you can play a Horned Warrior. It might be your first Horned Warrior. Alright, good. We are one-shotting basic guys. That's always a nice test of your Scadutree level. I'm also trying to pick up a few more runes. I want to pick up a level before the next part, because depending upon how efficiently I pull it off, it might just be easier to make it a suicide run. And a double tap that dude and that one. I'm going to come around here and ride right through the little hole in the wall. We're right up here. That's our Scadutree fragment. Kind of hard to get to. So you just come around here. Some dudes you gotta take out. And then you can hop up here. And there'll be one more in there. Gotta get up on this stuff. There he is. Came out to play with us. Alright, beat him down. Where is it? There it is. Okay, and then you can proceed. The Horned Warrior, who's right up ahead there. But there's our grace. That's what I'm after next. Again, I'm not coming in here to try and fight all this stuff. I just want map fragments and Scadutree fragments and Revered Spirit Ashes before I come back and start clearing the zone. This is to get us OP before we face any real content. That's what I like to do, and if you're coming along for the ride, appreciate that. You're doing that a little bit of yourself. Okay, so we are at 8 and 4. Reminder that the caps are 10 and 20. You really can't get them until the very last zone of the game, Ilum. So you're going to be like 18 and 9 by the time you get there. And I need another like 13,000. So let's go. Let's officially do this. What I want everybody to do is to come back here to High Road Cross. And that's where we're going to pick it up from. And we're going to come up here to this church. A couple of things you want to make sure you have with you. Number one, don't have any runes because there's an NPC invader. And if you're carrying a bunch of runes, he might kill you and you'll lose all your runes and be sad. The Forager Brood guy is like right over here on the cliff. And for him, you want to have a warming stone because he's going to be sick and you can't interact with him until you heal him up. Then you can come talk to him and get his cookbook. Later on, I kill more. I don't kill him directly. When we break the shadow rune, when we break the barrier, Michaela's barrier, which breaks the trance that everybody's under, he will become one of the hostile NPCs in the Inner Ilum NPC fight. And if you tell him to be sad forever, he comes over here and he dies next to his Forager Brood buddy. They're both dead when you come back, and you can get all of his armor pieces and his spell bearing and not have to fight him later. So it's sad that he dies, but not as sad as me having to fight him and a bunch of other people. So then the strat is going to be to kind of run into the church. There's the NPC invader, and we're basically just going to hop through the window. We're going to get kicked off the torrent. We're going to grab our Scadutree fragments, and then we're going to try and hop out another window and basically run southeast to a point where we can drop off the cliff, because there's going to be above the shadow fort here, there's going to be another grace. Or you can just let him kill you, whatever your choice is. So anyway, I'm going to go to High Road Cross. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to farm up a level so that I don't have any runes on the line, and then we will start back up again for this next little stretch. All right. All right. So I'm back. First thing I did was catch my level. I have 5,000 runes left over. Not too worried about that. And I made sure that I have some warming stones. I have 6. We're going to head over there to mark number 2, it looks like. And there are some patrolling soldiers up here and dogs. So just kind of look for the torches and give them a little space. I did go back to the starter area and fight some basic enemies who do one-shot them. Don't take nearly as much damage from them either. A little bit of a damage reduction anyway, at least. So I remember if he's up here or down there. We'll find out in a second. Let me get rid of my mark. There he is. Come over here. And if you don't care, you can just skip this part. Pick it up in a minute after I'm done doing this. Just chuck that out there for him. And he should uncurl. You could probably like quit and load back in and he might interact with you. But I'm going to be coming back over here if I care to get it. So this is our next target. Like I said, NPC invader. It's going to be in there. He's going to spawn where the fire stuff is. I just want to hop on point. I'm getting kicked off.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Mesmer's flame.
And there it is. Does a ton of damage to me. And like I said, you can fight him if you want. This works too. The heal, let my stamina refill some. And I'm not sure of like where we can drop down safely. We're about to find out. I don't even know if he's gonna follow us this far. be funny if he followed me and fell off the cliff. See if I can get back on Torrent. Oh, nope, there he is. That's funny. All right, well, there's my grace, so whatever. He's returned to his world. So the trick that you do where you could like get them to return to their world and it kills them, that didn't work here. I do that with the one guy in the consecrated snowfields. We headed south across the frozen river. And so this is the shadow fort. We can hop down further. Down there, is there a site of grace? I know there's a part there where you can drop down to safely. We're not going to aggro anything, so I'm just going to remind myself how to do it for when we come back. We are going to be coming back here. I believe it's to get like smithing 7s. There is a Black Knight that we fight. We have to work our way through, and he comes out of there, out of that part of the castle. When you do come back here, you want to make sure that you have fire arrows. At least that would make it a lot easier. And my strategy for running through here is, you see all the explosive barrels. You can, shoot them with an arrow, get them to come closer, and then shoot the barrels with the fire arrows and kill them. They will come up the ladder, so that's another fun thing you can do, is choke point them coming up off the ladder and just kill them one at a time. And then you proceed through that room, and there are more fire barrels, and cross the bridge, and the Black Knight comes out, but you can summon the Mimic for that. That's the weird one. He's got a lizard tongue. He uses his tongue as a weapon. So anyway, we are done with that. Let me get rid of any marks that I have lying around. We are going to go back over here to Morth Ruins, and then we are going to go through the ruins proper to come over here to another area to access Bonnie Village. All right, let's see if we can level up. We can. All right, so we are level 9. I'm gonna put my lantern on because we're gonna be going through a brief underground section. I'm gonna head out over this way. And there is like spinny head guy of doom. I look for that shiny. This is the way down. You can see down there. You just hop on over, and then you can drop down more safely. There's some dogs in there. And then we're gonna head down. Another section where you want to drop more carefully. There are some sorcerer dudes down there. I'm gonna hop off Torrent, see if I can plunge this one. There's 3 of them. There's one more behind me. Take him out. Grab the little loot in here. I think it's a spell. Yep, Golden Arcs. Incantation. So over here, I want to say there's a balcony we can drop down onto. And then we can drop the rest of the way. We don't take any fall damage. Another loot we can grab. Shadow Sunflower. And then we're heading back up this way. And this is going to give us the ladder that accesses Bonnie Village. So there's an emote that I'm going to grab, the Oh Mother emote, before we clear the zone, but I'm just running through here. I think there's a Revered Spirit Ash around here somewhere too. I want to say it's down in the river, so we'll try and grab that. We can summon our Mimic to distract. There are going to be some dogs down there. That's the only enemy in the river part of this area. And we're going to come up through Grace too, so. So there's our Grace. And I'm proceeding through and heading north. I don't remember if, I think we have to cross over the bridge once. But this is where we're going to drop down. Little NPC invaders with the blade. We drop down over there to get the, or go proceed that way to get the Oh Mother emote. Alright, so there's our Revered Spirit Ash. Now we're going to run past the dogs. A couple pieces of ground loot. And then here we can proceed up. And I'm heading, that's the bridge we want to proceed on. Another NPC with the butcher's blade axe thingy. And a third one. And we are heading for that statue right there. And the emote is right at the base. That's what the shiny is. That's what I'm after. Okay, oh mother, we got that. Now we're just heading back. And I'm heading back over here because that guy's on the road looking for us. So, NPC quest lines. This is going to break Miquella's seal, which is like... keeping everybody charmed as part of the plot line. We'll visit down there later. That just has the tooth whip in there. I originally thought, oh, there'll be another Revered Spirit Ash, just kind of looking at the building. But no. There's a Grace here. Kind of nice of them to put it there because, like I said, the point of no return is kind of not far beyond here. So let's rest here. And we're going to proceed, and we're going to proceed up into the... like the church district, which is underwater of the Shadow Keep. All right, and we can't get a level, but that's okay. So if there's any like NPC dialogue or whatever, don't proceed through here if you're still mucking around in the base game. And that noise that you just heard was the seal breaking, and then you're going to get a prompt. Somewhere a great rune has been broken. Also a powerful charm. You want to clear those off. Because there are some wolves. Might have to take a swing at somebody. And then there's another furnace golem through here. We're basically just going to try and run right between its legs and keep on going. And this is an armored furnace golem. You have to hop up on the spirit string and chuck hefty fire pots in its head to kill it. So we're not messing with that. We're going to come up here. There's going to be another Grace. Just follow the road and keep it moving so you don't get hit by all the fireballs. Glad to see my performance issues have subsided. The lag is gone. I'm one of those nerds who I just have too much stuff open on my computer. So I closed out one of my two browsers and that was enough to boost my performance. So I'm not having issues anymore, which is nice. And we're headed right up through the archway there. Oop. What aggroed to us? Was I too close to a wolf? Up the hill, it might have been because I was tapping my controller. Up the hill, there's another forager bird dude. You can go up the hill. He's kind of on the tip of the land over there. You have to ride past a couple packs of wolves. There's some undead that are going to spawn. Typical Elden Ring undead. Kill them with a holy weapon. They'll stay dead. Or a holy infusion. But otherwise you got to double tap them for them to stay dead. So we are just going to ride up here, and at the end we're going to get kicked off of Torrent right before the last section going up. Right up here is where we should get kicked off. You can see the line. Do my little hop, get a little farther. And now we are in the church district. So we are going to be working our way through here to pick up some more Scadutree fragments and open up the rest of the map. Let me go ahead and open up the map where we are. We're going to proceed across these buildings, up across here. We got to fight our first Fire Knight so that we can get up in here and drop down. And then there's a bunch of stuff that we can do in here. There's a Scadutree fragment that we can grab from a statue, but we're going to come over here and drain the water down first, so that if we miss and fall, it doesn't kill us and we have to run all the way back through. But anyway, I'll go over that at the start of the next episode. Let me wrap up episode 3 for now, and I'll see you again soon for the next one.